view that it was a necessary element of the prosecution case right from the beginning, irrespective of whether prospective defendant had raised a horizon integrity issue?
Well, it was a standard one that everybody agreed with, and I used. I didn't look behind it, or maybe I should have done. That's what we did. And then we had somebody, I don't know, who actually had a witness statement to that effect.
So we're going to jump back into Jarnail Singh's testimony at the Post Office Horizon IT inquiry and discuss whether he questioned the accuracy of the data that he was being provided ahead of prosecutions. And he does admit that machines go wrong, but this wasn't enough to convince him that Horizon, foolproof Horizon, as we later found out, wasn't making any mistakes, and admits that whilst he didn't always request data, that he would always request a statement from somebody to assert that Horizon was installed correctly, it was working correctly, and absolutely nothing was going wrong with it. Let's jump into the inquiry.
When you were providing legal advice on prosecution decisions and evidential sufficiency, when you were assessing whether to recommend a prosecution or not, did you give any consideration to the accuracy of Horizon data?
I think the way it was worked out was that we had a witness statement, or I always asked for a witness statement to say that the Horizon system had been properly installed, it was working in order, how did it operate? That was the initial, and I think subsequently if there was, in the interview that mentioned the fact that, there was in the interview, the sub-postmaster mentioned that the fact that, it pointed to say it was the Horizon, it wasn't me, then certainly I would ask the investigation officers to actually find out what the problem is.
So
well, I guess that's a different point, isn't it? Basically saying if Horizon's being questioned, they want a statement that it's cast iron, which is not quite the same as asking whether, everything's all right with Horizon, because as we've seen from previous statements, a lot of them were templated and written by other people other than the ones that actually signed them off.
First of those instances where somebody had not raised an issue in interview or otherwise in a defence case statement or the like, you nonetheless believed it was important or necessary to be able to prove that the data produced by Horizon was accurate and reliable?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And why was that?
Because it's a machine, isn't it? It's a machine. So there was a standard line I certainly put in, which when I worked with the other people, when I did the advocacy or the barristers in conference, used that line always, and they always had somebody come back to say that it was properly working, it was properly, high operated, and it was working. I think there's 2 or 3 things I always used to put in, because it's a machine, it can go wrong. So we need somebody to say, look, how it operated, whether it worked or it didn't.
So it was your...
Where were these doubts at the time, though? He's just said it. It's a machine. It can go wrong. So even if you get a statement from someone saying that this can't possibly be going wrong, then surely yourself you'd question that, despite having the statement, and say, are you really sure? No circumstance at all where it could go wrong?
View that it was a necessary element of the prosecution case right from the beginning, irrespective of whether prospective defendant had raised a horizon integrity issue?
Well, it was a standard one that everybody agreed with, and I used. I didn't look behind it, or maybe I should have done. That's what we did. And then we had somebody, I don't know, who actually had a witness statement to that effect. And then, after, subsequently, if it was raised like the Mrs. Misrat's case, it would have been investigated and further inquiries made and further documents obtained. But that's the way, our advice was structured.
How did you satisfy yourself that there was an actual loss in each case?
Well, the interview, then you had the...
the interview.
The interview in the sense that, what's the sub-postmaster's explanation, what he's saying. Then firstly, it was the auditors. Auditors would go in and they would sort of audit the the branch, and they find a shortage. Then it was the interview. Then it was the operation of the system itself. Then you had witness statements, the access, who actually put the figures on the system itself. That type of that's the sort of evidential side of it I would have looked at initially. Then as the matter progressed, you got more and more evidence as to it.
I mean, that proves a loss in terms of Horizon, doesn't it? Because all the auditors were doing was running reports off Horizon. So if there's a problem with Horizon, there'll be a problem with the reports, which means there'll be a problem with what the auditors find, which means there'll be a problem with the evidence that found. There's no kind of corroborative evidence to kind of triple check what's happening here, is there?
Audit data or were transaction logs sought as part of the initial investigation, or only if the sub-postmaster raised the Horizon integrity issue?
Well, looking back on it now, I think that was essentially done. They should have been done right from the outset, but it wasn't. That was if the sub-postmaster raised the issue, or subsequently Section 8 application, or that's when it was triggered off. But initially, those are the way the case actually progressed from the outset, and then as and when the case progressed, the further evidence, the Horizon issues, if they came about, that's when the data transaction logs were requested. But they weren't requested by I requested it from the investigation officer. The investigation officer obtained it from whoever, and now we know where they should have got it, and maybe they should have got it from the outset. I don't know.
So let me just get this right. If the sub-postmaster being accused of stealing didn't raise Horizon as an issue, then there was no evidence gathering to prove that a loss had even occurred, even though that's the precise thing you're accusing them of. So we'd only get Horizon transaction logs if we were trying to defend Horizon, rather than as it being a baseline of proof that some money's actually even gone missing.
We didn't at that stage, at that time.
Was it your view that it was a matter for the defence to raise an issue with the working of the Horizon system, for the defence to ask for ARQ data?
I don't know whether it was not my view. I think that's the way we operated. If it was raised in an interview, it certainly would have, the officers should have done that from the outset. But looking back on it now, I'm surprised that nobody picked it up, that it should have been obtained, initially from every single case.
Can we look at...
Well, including you, because if you're saying that's the way we operated, but I didn't have that view, then by saying we operated like that, you're saying you operated like that because you were part of the situation. You weren't a third party to everything that was going on here.